What is the one thing that you do that makes you the happiest person in this world? Well, reading is that thing for me. And what about you? Hi guys, I am Siddharth, and on this channel I talk about everything that is bookish or things which are related to reading. If you guys are already subscribed to my channel, then you would know that I have started my book collection series in which I am showing you guys the books that I have. It's going to be a very long series. Well, I have already made a couple of videos, so what I decided is that I will pick up one single author and talk about books that I have by that author. I have made a couple of videos, so don't forget to check them out as well. But after watching this one, so the author that I have picked today is Durjoy Datta. Now Durjoy Datta is very famous Indian author and he writes romantic fiction. There are some really good books by him which I just love, and there are some books that I don't really like. But anyways, let's talk about his books that I have, so let's get started. The first book is You Were My Crush Till You Said You Loved Me. It was released in 2011. Now this is story of Durjoy. Now Durjoy is a rich brat. He lives in a massively lavish house which he owns. He drives Bentley and he has every possible luxury with him. But within he has to cope up with the untimely death of his mother, and he is having a sour relationship with his father. So he has to cope up with that as well. You know, there are certain things in life that money cannot buy, so it's very much important that you have that support system, and it should be in terms of a person. So you have to invest in a person. It can be family, it can be friends, it can be your partner, your love relationship, but there has to be a person on whom you can depend for good advice. Next book I have by the author is She Broke Up, I Didn't, and it was released in 2010. So the book basically digs into three things: love, relationship and fidelity. Now this is a story of Deb and Avantika. Now Deb one day was drunk and he kissed one of his classmates, and Avantika, being his girlfriend, obviously was very much annoyed and frustrated because how can Deb kiss a girl being in a relationship with another girl, and she is now angry with Deb, and there are some questions that are arising in her mind, like, is lust different from love? Well, personally I think definitely there's a huge difference between lust and love. But what about Avantika? For that you have to read the book. What if Avantika gets into infidelity? Will Deb be able to forgive her? Well, for that you have to read the book. It's time to go on to the next book that I have by the author, and it is Our Impossible Love, and it was released in 2016. So this is a love story between Aisha and Danish. Now Aisha is a teenage girl who is trying to figure out her life, which is a bit complicated, and on the other side there is Danish, who is in his mid-20s and is forced to take up a job in a student council which is associated with the same school where Aisha studies. So that's how they both meet, that is in the school, and they both fell in love with each other. You know, this book will take you back to your school days, because we all have crushes on our teachers, but we really can't do anything about that. But in this book, you know, it portrays a very fruitful, nourishing, understanding relationship between a student and a teacher, which later on converts into a romantic relationship. So this book is worth reading. Plus there are lots of problems with the brother of Aisha, which Danish helps to deal him with. So the next book I have is When Only Love Remains, and it was released in 2014, and this is my most favorite book by the author. Well, this is a story of a girl who is a flight attendant and a guy who's a singer. So the girl is actually the fan of the guy, and one day in a restaurant the guy was singing a song and the girl saw him. They both fell in love with each other. It was love at first sight. You know, the best thing about this book is that इस पूरी book में मिलना बिछड़ना चल रहा है, and you are like मिलो ना मिलते क्यों नहीं. And finally there's a happy ending in this book. Well, I won't disclose much because I want you guys to read this book, so go ahead and buy this book and read it, because this is the book after which I read all the books by Durjoy Datta. Although I didn't like all those books much as I like this one, but still. The next book I have is When Only Love Remains, and it was released in 2014, and this is my most favorite book by the author. Well, this is a story of a girl who is a flight attendant and a guy who's a singer. So the girl is actually the fan of the guy, and one day in a restaurant the guy was singing a song and the girl saw him. They both fell in love with each other. It was love at first sight. You know, the best thing about this book is that इस पूरी book में मिलना बिछड़ना चल रहा है, and you are like मिलो ना मिलते क्यों नहीं. And finally there's a happy ending in this book. Well, I won't disclose much because I want you guys to read this book, so go ahead and buy this book and read it, because this is the book after which I read all the books by Durjoy Datta. Although I didn't like all those books much as I like this one, but still. The next book I have is Till the Last Breath, and it was released in 2012. So in this book there is a 19-year-old girl who is suffering from incurable disease, but she has desire to live. She wants to live her life happily and do all those things that she really wants to do. And on the other side there is a guy who is a drug addict and who has no desire to live, and he just wants to die. So they both are in the same hospital and they both are going to continue this journey together. Will they be able to survive till the end or not, or what if one person is able to survive, another one is not? So it's a bit complicated, but this is a bit sad story. Just want to tell you guys, so there are chances that you might shed a tear or two. So if you are in a mood to read some emotional book, then you can go for this one. The next book I have is Now That You Are Rich, and it was released in 2009. So this book is about 4 people: Abhi, Saurav, Shruti and Garima. So these 4 are overachieving nerds who manage to get a job which pays them fortune, and they cannot imagine a thing on which they cannot invest their money on. So they are in a very good place like that. But we all have boss trouble, and this book also has boss trouble, and these 4 people are also having boss trouble, but that's completely fine because they have a good job which pays them well. But what if they have to lose this job? You know, in the book the company is hit with the recession, so they are in a position to lose their job. So what if they will not be earn so much money? What will they do? How will they live their lives? So there are lots of questions. For that you have to read the book if you want the answers, so go ahead. By the way, what will you guys choose, love or money? Do let me know in the comment section below. The last book I have by the author is World's Best Boyfriend, and it was released in 2015, and it's a love story of Dhruv and Aranya. So they both are in a hate relationship. They both hate each other, and they both are creating miserable circumstances for each other. They both are doing unexpected bad things for each other, but between all these things they feel that there is a lot more to this hate relationship. Is it love or is it something else? For that you have to read the book, so I hope you read this book and enjoy it. That's it guys, so these are the 7 books by Durjoy Datta that I have. I hope you guys like this video, and do let me know which books you guys have by Durjoy Datta and which books you guys love, and recommend to other people by Durjoy Datta. I'm waiting for you in the comment section. Do comment and don't forget to hit like on this video, and in case you're new to my channel then don't forget to subscribe it right away. If you guys wish to connect with me on my social media, then the links are down below in the description box, so you guys can have a look. I am on Facebook, Twitter and on Instagram.